in Generation 9, there was a new type but it's only a new type of Terra type, which is or terrestrialization type. So certain Pokemon, or I guess every Pokemon at this point, can become the Terra type of Stellar, which is a little. I guess it could be cool in general. I'm gonna look up right now how the Stellar type functions with other typings.
You're telling me like that's a whole nother thing. Like we were just talking about, we don't even know. Like I don't even know how all the types affect each other, and then you
Yeah,
throw the stellar type in there, and it's like a really confusing. Like I even because it was leaking like before
yeah,
the game came out or the DLC, and everyone was like so confused on how it worked, and so there was so much like misinformation out there. And then when it officially came out, I was just confused completely about how it worked because of
yeah,
this and like the preconceived notions of of the leaks of it all. And yeah,
yeah.
anyway.
It looks like terrestrialization, or I'm sorry, the Stellar type has, or it is not very effective. I guess it's just like a standard type. The battle
Hmm.
properties is that it's super effective only against other Stellar type, or I guess other terrestrialized Pokemon.
Yes, I think that's right.
And then it nothing is it's not very effective against nothing. Nothing is immune to it.
Hmm.
And so really it does nothing. So to me, I look at this and it feels like a nothing burger.
It kind of was.
It's just
That's
nothing. It's
yeah.
literally nothing. Like, what is the Stellar type? How is it characterized? Nothing. And they could have made it interesting, and they could have, in a lot of ways, the Stellar type could have been like the light typing, right?
Yeah.
Refractions of light, right? Or energy, right?
Hmm.
Or really, I don't know. I think you guys, you can hear, I think I'm a little bit disappointed because the promise, again, of a new type is exciting. I think Stellar would have been so much more
It,
interesting
yeah, it really
if it
was.
interacted with other types in a specific way.
We were hype about it, like in a lot of
So hype.
ways. We were just like, this is going to be awesome. It's finally like some kind of new type. Even if it was like a temporary thing, but it would change, like you'd still have weaknesses and strengths and all that.
Like when a Pokemon becomes Terrafire, it has all of the same properties as a Mono Fire type Pokemon. The Stellar type should be something unique that any Pokemon could become, but I think it would have been really cool if. I think it would have been so awesome. This is honestly how it should always work. I think it would have been so cool if Terapagos was by default not a normal type, but Terapagos was a Stellar type Pokemon
Right, right.
at all times. And honestly, it would still have a lot. I mean, it wouldn't be too much different from the normal typing. It would
Hmm.
still be, it would still kind of have a lot of. It would be like a lot
Neutral,
of,
like
yeah. It would be neutral in a lot of ways. I guess it wouldn't have the fighting. It would be nothing. It's almost like the Mister. It's almost like the question mark type,
yeah,
like
yeah. It is
typeless,
kind of like that.
right?
It
It would
is kind
almost
of
be
like
typeless.
that. Hmm.
But I think it would be so cool. A really fun theory that we've been playing around with for like over a year is like, I think it would be so great if more legendary Pokemon, certain legendary Pokemon, had a specific original type that's specific to them, right? So Arceus could be typeless. Uh, Terapagos could be the Stellar type, right, with new properties. Maybe I don't know. Pick I don't know. Lugia could be the Wind type.
It
And
should
then
be.
maybe you have I don't know. I'm just thinking
That'd
out
be
of my.
cool.
I'm just thinking maybe Ho-Oh is the light type, for example, or the revival type. Like you can make up and it's not so much about the typing or like a silly name. It's just about like the Pokemon having unique attributes to, for that legendary, right?
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
truly make the legendary Pokemon special, that is one way they could go about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that would be that'd be genius if they did. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why we want a new type because they could go back and change that stuff and make them really cool. Especially the examples that you gave, Lugia and Ho, because they have nothing, and
They have nothing, dude. They have
they need
nothing.
something.
Yeah. So there's 18 types officially, right? Let me. So I'll read it for you. I'll read it for the for the listeners. Okay.
That sounds good.
We got normal type, fire, water, grass, electric, psychic, ice, dragon, dark, fairy. And so a lot of those, except for normal, were the quote unquote special types. Back in older Pokemon games, they would pull off of the special attack and special defense stat. But then like the physical types are normal, fighting, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, ghost, and steel. We also have that stellar type, which is the 19th type technically. And then there's also a lot of like weird typings that are present in the coding. We're not going to talk about those today. Those are things like the bird type in Generation 1, which is kind of a meme. But you also have the question mark type, which I think is just typeless. And there are ways to activate, and this isn't not totally, I mean, I think it's a little relevant, but it's not really like a characterization of a type. I still think Arceus would be pretty cool if like it had the typeless, right? In its base form, and then if you give it a plate, it gets, then it gets a new typing.
Yeah, that would have
just to make it more interesting than normal, because normal is just boring.
More godlike.
So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there are ways to activate that typeless in modern games, and one of the ways that I remember is like you give if you have an Arcanine, which is mono fire,
always
the
Arcanine.
move. If you give it the move, what is it, burn up? The effect of that move, it's so powerful. It's like the super strong fire type move. But the next turn, or I guess like once you use the attack, you lose your fire typing, right? Mm-hmm. So theoretically, I think this also works with Typhlosion, but like theoretically, if there was a Pokemon that could learn that, maybe Hisuian Arcanine, I'm not sure. It would lose the fire type and then gain or maintain its rock typing, but standard.
That's interesting. I don't know if that works.
Yeah,
but...
I don't know if that works either. But standard Arcanine would just lose the fire type, which means it's typeless, which means nothing can attack it. Nothing can attack it for super effective damage, and it's not immune to anything. It's not resistant to anything. It has no interaction with any other type.
He just becomes a dog.
Yeah, literally, or a tiger,
just a
whatever
dog
it is.
Again.